All right, what's up, folks? How we doing? I'm okay. I'm fine. Check out the video here. I give an update of what's going on with me and why I haven't been doing content. But the best thing is that my friends are unbelievably incredible and are all helping out. Put out the call to fellow chroniclers to do some guest videos on my channel, and everyone was just so freaking awesome. Today's guest is going to be Reid Duke, who honestly needs no introduction. I've been friends with Reid for a long time, but working with Reid in the last 3 or 4 years on the Pro Tour has been unbelievable. He is just literally one of the best minds in Magic, one of the best players to ever play the game. Like, his mind for the game, every single word he says is so good. We'll be at a Pro Tour meeting, and he'll say something, and I'll just be like, yeah, I don't have anything to say, because you can just say what Reid said. That was perfect already, so I guess I shouldn't even talk, So Reid's the best, and we're still working on that Pro Tour video. I hope to have it done soon following me and Reid. That is what it is. So I wanted to kind of give them my pro friends the more brewy decks. So Reid's going to be playing my Kona standard deck, kind of an updated version of it, and that should be a lot of fun. So please enjoy that. Check out Reid's content. Obviously, Reid's the freaking bomb. And again, thanks for your support. Like, comment, subscribe, support the content. I know it's been a shitty time, but I can't wait to get back to doing content for y'all. I hope to be able to do that soon.
All right, settle down, settle down. Mr. Davis is out sick today. I'm going to be your substitute teacher. For those who don't know me, I'm Reid Duke. I write for channelfireball.com. I'm a member of the Magic Hall of Fame. I practice with Jim for the Pro Tours. We've worked together for a bunch of years now. You can find me making guest appearances on some of his content. And Jim left a lesson plan for me today. He asked me to play his standard Kona brew. So that's Kona Rescue Beastie, the survival creature that lets you put a big old permanent card from your hand directly onto the battlefield. So what this deck is trying to do is use Kona to cheat out the most powerful creatures and permanents in the format, namely Atraxa, but also Portal of Phyrexia, Vault-Born Tyrant, some of the other hits that you'd expect to see in a ramp deck. So you can either just straight up attack with Kona, maybe you're even attacking a battle to get extra value, but you can also get the survival ability without risking Kona in combat via crewing your Cultivator's Caravan or tapping her with Scene of the Crime. This land allows you to tap creatures risk-free for extra mana. Failing that, this can also just be a normal ramp deck, kind of like what you'd expect from standard Domain, except going very, very big. 4 Atraxas, all this huge stuff. So hopefully against other slow decks, you can kind of just overpower them and get some real firepower out of these cards. Let's have a look at the sideboard. So I like that Jim really came prepared with Obstinate Baloths across the main deck and the sideboard for the Esper Pixie and Dimir Bounce matchup, or, really anyone who's playing with Hopeless Nightmare or Liliana of the Veil. Well prepared with 3 Ghost Vacuums, and then just another, set of singleton role player, kind of big cards to round things out. Vivian, Cityscape Leveler, a couple extra lands in the sideboard. So what I'm going to do is play this through 3 matches on the Arena ladder. Some of my favorite Jim Davis content is the Bronze to Mythic streams. On my account, this will probably be, Bronze 4 to Bronze 3, but we'll see what happens, and you'll get 3 matches, win, lose, or draw. So I hope you'll stick with me. Yeah, this is not the winning hand. I'm going to mulligan this one. And I'll keep this with all my mana sources and just bottom one of the big cards, which, assuming I name Phyrexian with Cavern of Souls, I'm still 1 color of mana off from Atraxa. I guess it occurs to me that I should keep the Vault-Born Tyrant because that's the one that I'm closest to casting. So yeah, maybe you just bin the Portal of Phyrexia. One of the things that's very cool about this deck is it's a ramp deck that actually gets to use Llanowar Elves, which, by many metrics, this is the best ramp spell in the format, and Domain doesn't get to play it because it doesn't have enough untapped green sources. These are only producing blue right now, for the record. So I could charm to just get a land, or I could charm to find Kona. Against a deck that's likely to have removal, I think I probably just want to get a land, especially the game seems to be going at like reasonably slow pace where maybe I can afford to just get to 7 mana. I could kill that. I don't think it's worth it. Notably, my opponent did nothing with double blue last turn, so I don't know if I should expect, you know, one of those mana leak style counter spells. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. So next turn I'll have 6 mana. We're getting close. I don't think I can dare attack with the Restless Cottage, because if it gets killed, then I'm set back a turn from doing anything. But, you know, next turn Cavern, Atraxa, or Vaultborn Tyrant should be pretty good. Sure. So, I don't know if it matters whether I name Angel or Phyrexian, but go for Angel. Well, that's another cool thing about Scene of the Crime, is you can double up on lands with Atraxa because it's an artifact as well. So Forest, Scene of the Crime, Kona, Glimpse the Core, and then either Charm or Go for the Throat. Guess I'll go for the Charm. Yeah, my opponent just didn't have enough pressure this game. If they had, you know, a curve of 1, 2, 3 creatures, I'm probably dead before I get to make any good use out of my 7 drops. But against just the Spyglass Siren, you know, there's too much time. So, another uncounterable Atraxa looks mighty fine here. Mostly just the uncounterable aspect of it is what I'm looking for. You know, of course, my hand is pretty full and I'll likely have to discard, but if I can find a cut down, that would be nice as well. Just a 1-mana play to help me play multiple spells in a turn. Keep in mind the Overlord's coming alive. Alright, I did find cut down. Wastewood Verge. Cultivator's Caravan and Atraxa, though I'll have to discard, so are there any of these that I would prefer to be in my library instead? Kind of like that I can play the Caravan and the Kona in one turn, so alright, let me just do this. And I'll go to my end step. You know, I would play the cut down before going to discard, but it's effectively 100% that my opponent's going to do something in my end step, so I can see what they do, then cast cut down, then discard 1 fewer card. Yeah, no danger of dying to poison here. So, goodbye Glimpse the Core, Scene of the Crime, Llanowar Wastes, and... Oh, wait, I only have to discard 2? Is that what's going on here? I was like, it doesn't feel like I need to discard 4, but turned out I had too many selected. Kaito. I'm stunned.
Control the fight, control the outcome.
So only one blocker, because the Might can't block, so I could consider firing up the Cottage, I could consider pointing a removal spell at the Siren, but yeah, my opponent has seen enough. They're not really going to be able to get any traction there. Okay, so why don't I bring in some removal spells, Paw Patch Formation. They do have a lot of flyers, at least. That kind of looked like a regular old Dimir mid-range deck. I don't know if they really had the bounce package. Possible they had it and just weren't drawing it. I like having more lands, I think. Especially the value lands. I'm actually going to cut the Konas because I feel like that's an interaction point where they can go for the throat the Kona, but if I'm just sort of inexorably getting up to 7 mana with a Cavern of Souls, killing a few creatures along the way, I think that's just a really effective plan. That doesn't leave anything to chance. And by the way, I just went up lands after sideboarding. Again, you know, if they're killing my Konas and my Llanowar Elves, like I just want to make my land drops, and that's fine. I'm going to mulligan this. This one I'm a bit happier with. I think I'm going to bottom the Tyrant with the logic that I just want my opening turns to be strong, and then hopefully the rest will fall into place. Top of my library will deliver. I'm just going to kill this so I don't get Kaito'd ahead of schedule. That certainly seems like one of the ways that I could lose is getting behind against a Kaito, since I don't have a lot of ways to kill that. Okay. Alright, I think I'm gonna be taking my medicine from that unstoppable slasher. Okay, so let's draw a card. So they could have done the spree to get the 2/2 flying. They chose not to. Maybe I should have played the Llanowar Waste so I could have threatened the Restless Cottage. And there's the Kaito, and the Flood Pitch Drowner can tap any creature. So I can't really rely on blocking here.
My way out of this one. My eyes are as sharp as my sword.
I don't know, it seems like I just have to get a land and hope to top deck something. I don't really have any board sweepers. Blast Zone. Yeah. Sure, I'll get the Underground Mortuary. Okay, GG. Try that again for game 3. I do like having all the removal. So how do I how do I beat Kaito? You know, Ghost Vacuum is actually not embarrassing against this style of Dimir deck because, first of all, it helps you permanently get rid of the slashers and the Enduring Curiosities, and then also just activating for 6 mana can sometimes be surprisingly effective. Cityscape Leveler can kill Kaito outright. Portal Phyrexia is kind of like a board sweeper. I think I'll stick with what I have. Keep it simple. Sure, I don't love how painful this is. But, you know, the invasion can find me untapped painless land, and then get the Caravan out, and be right on track to get Atraxa out there. It's also pretty resilient to Deep Cavern Bat. Just gonna take Hushwood Verge, because I already have 2 3-mana ramp cards. Ramp turn 3, ramp turn 4, and then cast this turn 5, and the Archdruid's Charm can get Cavern of Souls anyway. Opponent's in the tank. What's it going to be? Nothing. So a little bit of a shame, as we had a good match going, and it looks like they're not going to really show up to play game 3 here. I mean, they didn't even attack, let alone make a land drop, use their map. Alright, so they're back and playing now. I guess they just spotted me a free time walk. I need it. Main phasing this to get a Cavern, because now I'm pretty insulated against any permission spells at any point. Aha!
I'll have this fight finished before brunch. Don't overthink things.
Creature. Land. Instant. Not a great hit, actually. And that does matter because Liliana's working on my resources here, so, you know, imagine the world where my opponent goes, go for the throat Atraxa, make you discard. And I guess I discard the elves, and then we rinse and repeat, but just saying, like, you know, hitting 3 cards is a bit different from hitting 5 cards in that spot.
Boom. Did I scare you?
I'm just gonna crew because if my opponent decides that they want to edict me,
Going anywhere.
then at least I have the option to sack the Caravan.
I'm tired of your secrets.
So, I could play another Atraxa, crew, attack a planeswalker. That forces a chump block. I could Fountain Port, make a fish. No, I'm one mana short of doing everything that I want to do. What about Archmage's Charm for Kona? Oh, I bored out all the Konas. Maybe I should have left one. Because, yeah, if I had one Kona in my deck, I could Charm for Kona, play it, crew the Caravan, attack, force a chump block, then drop a Atraxa. Should never question Jim's deck building in that way. I should have left in at least one. Alright, fine. Black. So creature, artifact, enchantment. Instant. Sorcery. Land. I'm gonna have to discard, but that's fine. Whew.
Just try to keep up.
Imagine they're gonna edict me. No, okay.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
Okay, so using the Overlord to crew the Caravan. So what I want to do is split my attacks at both Planeswalkers and anoint the Gix before blocks. Pretty obvious my opponent's gonna go for the throat, the Atraxa. And if I kill the Kaito and then they ult the Liliana, how much trouble am I in? Like, I might be able to win this game with just a strong hand and half my permanents. I could also do, like, the switcheroo where Atraxa attacks Kaito and Caravan knocks the Liliana down to 1. And then they can't go for the throat the Caravan. I guess I should probably do this, just Timing out. Okay, I'll just make the default play here. Oh, I think I just lost a mana too somehow. In timing out, my mana just went to waste. Okay, so that played out more or less as expected. I'm gonna get Liliana ultimated. I think I'm still ahead, even after losing half my permanents. Yep.
Don't bother begging. I'm fresh out of mercy.
Choose a pile to sacrifice so I can lose my non-land permanents and 1 land. Or I can lose all these lands. Yeah, I'll just lose my non-land permanents. Artifact, land, sorcery, creature, enchantment, instant. I'll just grab these all and then I'll have to discard. If I was being a little more precise, then I might choose to just leave some of them in my library. But that's fine. Just discard my second scene of the crime. I mean, I can't imagine any 2 cards my opponent has where they are able to overpower what's in my hand here. But this game was dicey, and it was dicey even with my opponent skipping through their second turn. If they had gotten that Liliana out 1 turn earlier, it would have been a really tough game. But that is 1. We'll count it, and I'll be back for match number 2. All right, friends, I'm back for match number 2. With Jim's Kona brew. I'm paired up against a gold player, so I'm going to have my work cut out for me here, but my opening hand is good. I'll start with Restless Cottage, play the Mortuary on turn 2 when I have a little bit more information to work with. I mean, I don't hate it. It's a nice payoff, like... Turn 3, turn 4, turn 5. Esper Pixie. Just go for the Overlord. Even though it does make sense to go like Caravan it to hardcast the Overlord, this is the Caravan can be bounced, whereas the Everywhere token is just there to stay. I guess I just want an untapped land. Guarantee the Vaultborns start coming down. Unfortunately, these don't have reach. Oh boy, there's the Kaito.
This is where things... Don't worry, Pom-Pom-chan. I've got this. Information is its own weapon.
So they get like one more free attack here, assuming they stun the Vaultborn. But then after that, I'm going to start to stabilize the ground with like another Vaultborn, the Overlord coming alive, the Cultivator's Caravan as a potential blocker. But I do not have anything to stop the Fears or the Kaito activations. Five mana to bounce my two creatures, so let's crew.
I thrive in the dark.
Block Kaito. Kill a Fear. Still take 10. Alright. Reasonably good fight. So I'll do similar sideboarding, except this time I want the Baloths. And I'll leave in exactly one Kona, based on my learnings from last game. So I didn't play a Llanowar Elves in game 1, so it's not clear that they're going to keep in their Nowhere to Runs and Grim Baubles and stuff, but if I show the Llanowar Elves in game 2, then I might board them out for game 3. But for now, maybe I cut these invasions. And what? One Charm, one Tyrant, something like that. Good hand. You're not going to spell pierce me, are you? If I play the Caravan? I'm just going to play the Caravan, because this actually does seem like a spot where hardcasting the Overlord might be really, really strong. I mean, they're probably going to counter it, but what am I going to do? Would have been a good spot to have a Cavern. Does it matter if I attack here? Sure.
Looks like I gotta fight my way out of this one. I've trained with the best.
Man. Another good spot for Kona, huh?
Aha. Now I know your weakness. My eyes are as sharp as my sword.
Not ideal. Sure. Draw a card, make a food.
I've got you beat 6 different ways.
So if I play the Tyrant, I go to 9. On the board, they get to stun it and attack me for 8, so dead to any spell or any land. That doesn't seem great. Alternatively, what? Go for the throw at something, crack the food. Search for the Kona. Still not good enough. Search for Baloth. Atraxa into land cut down. Still dying to the board. Alright, sure. Alright, So then they replay that, they trigger Prowess, and that's already good enough. That's going to be 1-1. I'll see you for the third and final match. Hello friends, welcome back to the third and final match of today's video. Currently 1-1 with the Rescue Beastie. This is a little awkward here where, like, I want to have triple green on time for the Archdruid's charm, but if I play this, then I won't have that. I mean, I could just bottom the cut down and just keep all my mana in Atraxa. I don't yet have access to black mana, and there's some matchups where cut down is not going to be effective. Okay, maybe there I could have played the Scene of the Crime. But I like against a deck that very likely has counter spells. You can end of turn make a play, untap make a play to kind of overload them, make their mana go to waste. Stock up, you got it. Seems like Cavern is just going to be too strong here. Well, I hope you're stocked up, because she's coming next turn. This type of deck, they might try to deck me with Jace, where it's just like, okay, let me start doing my Atraxa thing and just kill everything that I play and eventually run me out of cards. We'll see how that plays out, if that's really what their plan is. So, creature, instant, battle, land. You're milling yourself. Interesting. So either you have something to do with your graveyard, or you're trying to hit think twice, or you're not interested in depleting my library. Seems like just playing this, crewing the Caravan and killing Jace. Oh, no, it's going to enter tapped. So no crewing Caravans for me. Kona against Authority of the Console is pretty nice. That looks like a little bit of desperation there. It's fine for me.
Organic minds are easily quelled.
So let's play the Kona, which will enter tapped. Also draws me a card off the Tyrant. Then I will attack and kill the Jace. Second main phase, trigger the Kona. Nice freebie from the Authority of the Consuls. I'll drop the second Vaultborn Tyrant, get 2 triggers. I'm fine with that rather than Atraxa, because I would just have to discard the hand size anyway. So now with access to 5, 6 mana with an untapped land... just play kind of as much as I can, I think. I don't think Portal of Phyrexia is all that interesting. Alright, so... Board Sweeper or bust, and you really want it to be Sunfall, so that I'm not getting my Vaultborn Tyrant back. Sure. I think I'm just going to attack player with everything. Like, there's no real advantage in killing these battles if my opponent's just going to be sweeping the board every turn or every other turn. And then I presume my opponent's going to cast a spell during combat, at which point I can Archdruid's Charm to exile the Gearhulk. They do know I have this, for what that's worth. Second main. Kona gives me Atraxa. And my opponent has seen enough. Alright, so... Once again, more lands. Want the Planeswalker. Want the creature with the cast trigger. Destroying enchantments. Unclear how strong destroying enchantments is going to be. The removal spells definitely didn't seem great. I can kill a Horned Lock Whale. Portal of Phyrexia also did not seem great. So kind of take your pick of somewhat uninspired cards to round things out. I guess Paw Patch Formation can at least cycle. Sure. Right on time. I hate to sort of waste the Cavern, but it really looks like my opponent would love to counter my spell this turn. So I'm going to name Avatar, cast this with Impending. What do you got for me? Think twice, deduce, 3 steps ahead. Oh, no! So they used 3 steps ahead in an attempt to counter the spell, but of course it was being cast with Cavern of Souls. Maybe they chose the wrong mode, maybe they were confused about the impending cost. Maybe they just overlooked the Cavern, but yeah, not a great outcome for the control player there. Okay, so 6 mana to work with this turn. Vivian and plus is an option. Then she gets attacked for 4. I mean, I think I should just play another Overlord. Even attack for 1. If I attack and they block, then, you know, I can reevaluate the Vivian play.
If you won't
Would
listen
you
to
like to
nature,
see what's left?
I'll speak on its behalf. You can't bury the creatures of this world in steel and stone.
Okay, no problem. So getting to untap with Vivian in this matchup feels real nice.
We're the predators. You're the prey.
I will have the proper mana for Atraxa once I play this second Overlord. So I'll take that. Play an Overlord, and then it's just going to be, you know, heavy hitter every turn after this. So you better have lots of counter spells. Remember, I did waste my Cavern on Avatar earlier, though obviously it wound up having a good effect. But the Atraxas are counterable. It's just my opponent has to thread the needle of, like, answering my board, holding up mana, you know, grinding me out in the long term. The challenge of the control player. Alright, so I think I'm just going to play Atraxa and kill the Gear Hulk. I mean, I guess I could kill Overlord too. Let's see what I find. If I find Paw Patch formation, then it makes sense to kill the Gear Hulk. So we have Cavern. Caravan. Pretty weak hit, actually. Cavern, Caravan, I don't know, another Atraxa, an Overlord. And then I will kill the Overlord after all, because I feel like I'm not going to lose to the Gear Hulk hitting me for 4 or 6 damage, but I could lose if the Overlord starts attacking uncontested. Okay, I cast Kona. Then I use Kona. To play... Sorry, I'm really messing up my mana here. Cultivator's Caravan. Then I move to my second main phase. I put Atraxa onto the battlefield. Archdruid's Charm, Glimpse the Core, Cavern of Souls. Another Atraxa. I'll skip taking the Caravan, because I would just have to discard. You gotta find something special, because once again, it's like, you gotta answer what's on the board, and I have 7 hand-picked cards in my hand, so... What are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, I can't even think of a single card that would, like, kill 2 out of the 3 of my permanents while leaving their Gear Hulk intact. I mean, that's fine, but now that Kona is just going to bury you every turn. Can also get somewhat close to just, like, winning. Say I Archdruid's Charm this, I play Overlord, I start attacking. I guess I want to leave blockers if possible, because my life total might be more in question. So let's say I just charm this. Swing for 4. Thank you, Kona. Put in Atraxa. Overlord, Leveler, Atraxa, Paw Patch. Just not even bother taking the lands or the battles. Five, 6, 7. Okay, so now they can't kill me. So now they have to start working on like Sunfall type of stuff. But they just, I feel like, it feels like they just don't have the resources. I guess if they go like stock up into Sunfall and something else, then the game can continue, but alright, so finally Kona gets to work. That was super cool getting to use Kona against Authority of the Consuls to great effect, and just, like I said, if you play a slow matchup, this deck goes way over the top. So, that was my 3 matches. I went 2-1. I'll take a moment to give sort of my thoughts on the deck, possible changes. So, cards that I thought of along the way. Nissa Ascended Animist. This is a cool one because if you put it into play off of Kona, you get the full 7 starting loyalty, but it's also like kind of scalable. So if you're just casting things with mana, you have more options. Nissa's really good for ending the game, like against blue-white control or domain or something. You overrun and get them dead before they have a chance to Sunfall your board. It's also really strong against artifacts and enchantments, which you only have the Archdruid's charms to deal with that. Virtue of Persistence, another example of sort of a scalable card where you can cast it early, but kind of powerful to put it on the battlefield directly off of Kona or ramp into it, sort of like a smaller version of Portal to Phyrexia. And then I noticed a weakness of the deck was inability to kill Kaito. So you might want to consider like Blot Out or Sheoldred's Edict as a way to just directly kill a Planeswalker either in the main deck or the sideboard. So what did I really like about the deck? I loved the number of untapped green sources, and the package of like Llanowar Elves, Glimpse the Core, Archdruid's Charm was great. I might even try to get up to 4 Glimpse the Cores, like once you're building your mana base to support 6-7 basic forests. I think that's just a really, really strong card. One more is the Lumbering World Wagon. This could be an alternative to Cultivator's Caravan, or maybe you split them, where it's like the World Wagon ramps you, even if it's destroyed later, you got your land. And then if you go World Wagon into Kona, and they have a single removal spell, it's like, well, they feel a lot of pressure to kill the Kona, but then the World Wagon's just attacking, dealing massive damage, ramping you further, get you up to actual 7 lands organically. And then, just as a general thing, I'm not a huge fan of lands in the sideboard. You may have noticed I just brought these in after sideboarding in all the matchups because I like having more mana sources, so I'd probably just construct the deck in such a way as to have like a few more lands in the main deck and free up those sideboard slots. But this was awesome. Encountered like some unexpected things. I'm sure I missed a lot. Opportunities, like I said, Archdruid's Charm for Kona and set that up like right on the spot instead of just casting a 7-drop. I probably missed that in a few spots in those games. So really nice deck building from Jim. I appreciate him having me as a guest on the channel. And I appreciate you all for watching. I'll see you next time.
Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for these guests coming on and helping me out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. I love y'all.